Here we go.
I'm blocking what?
Blocking the truck. You can't see the
So this way?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
Shit. What about all that money over there?
All that money over there was part of a marketing stunt by none other but Zynga, the company behind the wildly popular Facebook sensation, Farmville. Farmville wasn't just another farming game, it was the biggest obsession of its time. But behind its friendly graphics was a strategy so ruthless, it turned a small startup into a billion-dollar empire.
Is that right?
And the man in charge, Mark Pincus, a CEO
Pincus.
people love to hate.
Is that
Driven
right?
to dominate, Mark stopped at nothing. From cloning games to scamming users, this man did every horrible thing in the book.
I did every horrible thing in the book just to get revenues. CEO Mark Pincus. Wow.
But was he really a villain or just a genius who understood the cold reality of business? After all, Mark turned Zynga into a powerhouse. It seemed unstoppable. But when things got out of control, it all came crashing down.
Zynga stock closed today near its lowest level ever.
But just when it looked like the end, the unimaginable happened.
Take-Two Interactive is one of the biggest video game publishers out there, responsible for GTA, Red Dead. It's buying mobile game maker Zynga for around $12.7 billion in a mix of cash and stock.
Now under
12 billion is crazy.
control of Take-Two. The question is, how did a man who did every horrible thing in the book not just survive, but
Of course, 2K would follow in the steps of Zynga, or really 2K was probably around longer or whatever. They business strategies align. Every horrible thing possible to get revenue, yeah, 2K's like that as well.
walk away as the ultimate winner?
Yeah. It's perfect perfect matchmaking, I guess.
Look at this stock graph. You see, Zynga didn't just rise. It went from zero to zero, and somewhat back to hero again. But what happened here, and here, only to end in a $12.7 billion acquisition by none other but Take-Two? The second biggest deal in the history of gaming, by the way.
Is that right?
Well, today you'll learn all about these 3 moves that built and nearly broke Zynga. But before I break those down, let's break down the man behind it. A Silicon Valley bad boy with a bulldog and a vision. Mark Pincus wasn't exactly liked. People called him a control freak, not coachable, piece of shit. And so mean, he even has his own chapter in Mean Men, a book about the world's most controversial leaders.
Is that right?
But was he really this mean, or just a genius who understood that in the world of business, you're either prey or predator? Because from a young age, being prey to authority wasn't really his style. In Mark's own words, he would say things like, "That's a dumb question," when asked something he found stupid in interviews. Mark just didn't have a lot of respect for authority. It's no surprise then that he also didn't last long in traditional jobs. By 28, after being fired from a VC firm, he admitted feeling washed up. But instead of backing down, he doubled down. Mark wasn't interested in playing by the rules. He wanted to write his own.
I knew I wanted to control my destiny, so I knew I needed revenues right fucking now. Like, I needed the revenues now. So I funded the company myself, but I did every horrible thing in the book to just get revenues right away.
Every horrible thing in the book. A harsh but very honest answer to students asking how to get profitable fast. The press called him unethical, of course, for saying these words, but they didn't understand that for Mark, an experienced entrepreneur, it wasn't about being unethical. It was about taking control of your own destiny in the cold world of business. And control he took. Named after his bulldog Zynga, Mark started the company with one goal: connect the world through games. Mark had no gaming experience whatsoever, but what he did have was the ability to see what others missed. The untapped potential of social media games.
I saw that people were hanging
Yo, that Facebook gaming era was ahead of its time, bro.
out on Friendster and Tribe and these social networks, and eventually MySpace and Facebook. But you got them all together for this cocktail party, but then there wasn't something to do with your friends. And people would say there's nothing to do on the social network.
So Mark thought Facebook games were the answer. And while other companies were chasing hardcore gamers,
it was a good answer.
Mark was chasing another crowd, the non-gamers, moms, students, office workers. And to catch them, he truly did every horrible thing in the book.
Let's see. I remember Farmville and Zynga, man. Let's see it. I don't really recall nothing of this, you know.
Zynga's first big hit made Facebook gaming explode. It was the world's first free-to-play social poker game with 40 million monthly players. But the real reason it took off wasn't the game itself. It was because of something no one else had tried before. Microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
So this is before 2K bottom?
Poker became the first game in the
That's why I said, man, 2K is right up, it's their cup of tea, you know what I'm saying? Right up their alley. You know what I'm saying? To purchase something like Zynga.
West to sell poker chips for real money. People loved it, but not everyone was happy. Many claimed the cards weren't random, but dealt by an algorithm designed to make players lose, calling it the most corrupt game of online poker. True or not, the backlash only fueled Zynga's reputation to keep players hooked. And
bro, if you spending money on apps, bro, you got a problem.
Spending.
It's true, people are spending not just a little bit of real money on things that don't exist, but a lot of it. Exactly how much?
Well, the revenues last year were over $600 million and growing very quickly.
Now, for most game studios, that kind of money
This is numbers back then, bro. These ain't inflated like today's numbers, bro. That's $1 billion today.
would have been enough, but not for Mark. To stay ahead, he turned Zynga into something no other game studio saw coming.
Is that right?
Data powerhouse.
And that volume of data they get off those 250 million users ends up being their secret weapon. They're able to know what people like faster than any of their competitors, which allows them to keep churning out the hits.
While other companies build games
that's how a lot of companies make a lot of money, man. They selling data
based on user feedback, Mark built games based on user data. Every click, every feature, no, every pixel exploited players' habits to keep them hooked. Zynga, as one employee put it, was in fact an analytics company masquerading as a games company.
It's all analytics, man. You know what I'm saying? You keep doing what worked. You know what I'm saying?
But with Mark's obsession over data, the stage was set for the biggest game yet. One that would bring massive growth, but also massive trouble.
Is that right? Farmville. I played this.
Meet Farmville, a game about farming. Farmville became Facebook's fastest growing game, and that thanks to a simple loop of plant, grow, harvest, repeat. But it was that exact loop that harvested something else. Your fear of loss. Crops took days, sometimes weeks to grow.
Man,
and if you
hella
logged in too
long.
late, your crops died. But log in on time and you were rewarded. Farmville basically ran on real-world time, and players took it very seriously. Some even set alarms to not miss a harvest, and then there were those who neglected their kids when interrupted mid-game.
What? Farmville interruption cited in baby's murder? What?
Farmville wasn't just a game. It was an addiction machine that sold you time, and Zynga loved it. But Farmville's real genius wasn't the game itself. It was Facebook's notification system. Farmville allowed players to send invites to their friends for help. Found some eggs? Notification. Found some fuel? Notification. Harvested olives? You guessed it, notification. The spam was relentless. It annoyed everyone who was not playing. But for Zynga, it was genius, because every invite was free advertising. The only question was, how long before players...
It was a cheat code, bruh.
...and Facebook had enough. Well, for now, Zynga couldn't get enough. The hits kept coming. Everything Zynga touched turned into gold, and that for a very simple reason.
I don't want innovation. You're not smarter than your competitor.
Those were
just
Mark's
copy.
marching orders, and boy did Zynga deliver. Armed with tons of user data, Zynga didn't just clone games, they perfected them. From Farmville to Mafia Wars to Cafe World, every clone outperformed the original. Data and cloning
Is that
became
right?
Zynga's DNA. Employees even joked that their motto was "do evil." And with all that evil, it was no surprise that lawsuits rolled in, with even EA suing Zynga over their game The Ville, which, truth be told, was a blatant clone of The Sims Social.
That's crazy.
But Mark didn't care. For him, it wasn't about stealing anyways, but about doing it better. And better they did. Zynga's games became the fastest growing in history, and Zynga itself the fastest growing company in Silicon Valley.
That's
The
crazy.
bad boy with his bulldog was finally in control of his destiny. But to keep that control, Zynga needed more than data and clones. They needed the spotlight, and they knew exactly how to grab it.
Stay candy.
Meet Gagaville, Zynga's marketing campaign with Lady Gaga. Farmville players could unlock songs from her unreleased album inside the game.
Is that
It was
right?
an entirely new way to experience music by both
That's crazy.
Farmville players and Lady Gaga's Little Monsters.
That's ahead of his
So
time
why
right
not
there.
Try the same
I didn't
with,
even know that.
rappers. For their game, Mafia Wars, players got exclusive access to Dr. Dre's music video. And for Mafia Wars Las Vegas, Zynga live-streamed Snoop blowing up a 4-ton
They
armored
live
truck
streamed
in the
it?
Nevada desert. It was the most viewed live stream in 2010.
2 million views. Was that live? Concurrent?
But not all stunts paid off. To promote Mafia Wars again,
That's crazy.
Zynga glued fake $25,000 bills to San Francisco's sidewalks. The city wasn't impressed, calling it sidewalk vandalism and illegal
glued
marketing
it?
tactics. No surprise, knowing it took the cleaning crew 3 hours to scrape off the fake bills. But Zynga didn't care. They kept their marketing machine running. Playable emails, mega billboards, or taking over entire 7-Eleven stores from food to drinks to candy. Zynga stopped at nothing. Not even at zombies. Yes, for their launch of Zombie Swipeout, Zynga flooded New York with over 100 zombies handing out blood pops. The stunt resulted in over 12 million impressions on Twitter. And when zombies weren't enough, no problem. They went even bigger with sheep.
I was like, Dad, why is there sheep in New York City?
Because it's New York City, man. You know, you see whatever you see. It's all here.
Yes, Zynga brought herds of sheep and English farmers to New York to promote
Everything but
Farmville Play's
grass.
version. It was marketing a la carte, super extravagant and super expensive. But when you've got Emma Stone confessing her Farmville addiction, you know Zynga's marketing was also super effective.
Are you on Facebook or any of that stuff?
No, I had to delete my Facebook.
Why?
Because I got addicted to Farmville. Have you seen people that are like, da-da-da needs help building their barn? Don't need a nail or a board.
It's a fake farm.
It's a fake farm, but
Yeah.
it doesn't feel fake, Jimmy.
You're getting crazy. You're getting crazy, yeah.
Now, these marketing stunts were bold, but not as horrible as what is about to come. If you were too broke to keep your Farmville addiction, no problem, just hand over your data. That's what Farmville's offers did. They let players trade personal information for in-game currency. From signing up for a Netflix trial, completing a fake IQ test, or grabbing a free learning CD, the list of offers was long and loaded.
Wow.
A typical offer asks you to enter your phone number to unlock rewards, not realizing that you've just subscribed to a monthly service.
What?
These shady offers made millions, especially for Facebook. But at the heart of it wasn't Facebook or Zynga per se. It was actually a company called OfferPal, a firm that specialized in trading personal data for in-game rewards. At first, it seemed like business as usual, but as complaints grew louder, one journalist started asking questions. So when confronting OfferPal's CEO about how these scams became the backbone of social gaming, she had nothing nice to say.
And I can tell you categorically that his insights are shit, double shit, and bullshit. Okay?
Is that right?
Turns out his insights weren't so bullshit after all. Lawsuits accused Zynga and Facebook of a fraudulent scheme, with ads being highly misleading and users subscribing to services they don't want. Apparently, Facebook was fully aware but did not offer to reimburse any users. And to top it off, Mark's now infamous quote only supported these claims.
I did every horrible thing in the book to just get revenues right away. I mean, we gave our users poker chips if they downloaded the Zwicky toolbar, which was like, I don't know, I downloaded it once, I couldn't get rid of it. So.
That toolbar was surely Mark's...
That's kind of scary coming from the fucking creator of all these gaming apps, huh?
Means to an end, a quick way to generate revenues. But his honest words about it didn't really help the case and left Facebook with no...
That's back when viruses were crazy. Shoot, I got a MacBook. I don't even know if you can get viruses. I ain't downloading nothing that can get me one anyway, though.
choice but to act fast. Facebook suspended Zynga's game Fishville. Offerpell's CEO Queen of Scams got fired, anti-scam rules were enforced, and Mark removed all mobile ads until we see any that offered clear user value. But that was just a quick fix to a much bigger problem. While all this was happening, another storm was brewing. Zynga's relentless game notification just kept spamming feeds so much, even Facebook had enough. Without any warning, Facebook decided to shut them down altogether.
Damn.
According to Zuckerberg, it was part of some rebalancing so that if you aren't a gamer, you're getting less updates. And just like that, Zynga lost millions of users overnight.
Yeah, that'll cook everything right there, bro. That nigga cracked the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? That nigga cracked the code. The cheat code. You know, that's a cheat code, bro. You get on there right at the right time with your app, with your game. And you able to use the system of Facebook that's popping up and coming. And they've got this share feature, this invite feature, and notification feature that's just off the charts, that's unregulated right now. And because you know, they're not only going to regulate as they go, as this stuff starts happening. So you're the first person to do it. You can get it. You can run that up until they patch your ass. You know what I'm saying? On me, I ran it up on YouTube, and then they patched my ass, nigga. So I'm struggling to get 100K.
Less updates. And just like that, Zynga lost millions of users overnight. It became clear who was truly in control here, with the press declaring that Facebook basically owns Zynga. But it was just like a bad marriage. Both Facebook and Zynga knew they needed each other. Without Zynga, Facebook would lose traffic, and without Facebook, Zynga would lose players. The solution was a new deal, but not just any deal, a secret one. Facebook would keep promoting their games, and Zynga agreed to make them exclusive. For Mark, it was a win, but not exactly his idea of taking control. To take things further, he bought Words with Friends and turned a hit game into an even bigger success.
Damn,
Despite
I remember that game.
Zynga became bigger than ever.
Didn't you have to pay for that shit though? Or it was like bougie or something. I think my phone was never up to date enough.
Almost.
And that's at the time where you couldn't just update your phone. If you had an Android, nigga, you had to buy a whole new, better phone.
Too big.
Because technology was just growing so fast, nigga. It wasn't no update your phone you got, nigga. If you can't download the apps, you gotta buy a whole new phone.
To stay private. So by the end of 2011, Mark took Zynga finally to an entirely new level.
NASDAQ's opening bell rang from San Francisco this morning to mark the IPO of Zynga.
They might be able to take two now, though.
Priced at $10 a share.
Zynga's IPO said to be the biggest U.S. Web one since Google.
Yes, Zynga went public with a $7 billion valuation, with Mark, of course, tightly in control. But just 5 months later, his best buddy Mark, the other Mark, took his baby to even greater heights. Facebook was now public and worth over $100 billion. And it was one of the largest tech IPOs in history. For Zynga, this meant trouble. Facebook was now bigger, bolder, and more in control. And it threatened Zynga's dominance in the social gaming world.
Zynga had one product that was their flagship product in Farmville, and what we learned from the Zynga IPO was that people are fickle and they're not going to play the same game forever.
And that was the problem. Zynga bet big on social gaming just when the world started shifting to something else. Mobile games. Now, everybody had a smartphone, and people wanted to take their browser games with them, no matter where they go. Apps became the next big thing. And to catch up, Zynga did a desperate move, buying the studio behind the hit game Draw Something for $200 million. It was surely Zynga's entry into mobile, with the game being top of the app charts. But when the game didn't meet Zynga's expectations, Mark shut down not only the game, but the entire studio with it. The smartphone era wasn't just happening, it was happening fast. And maybe just a tad too fast for Zynga to catch up.
Zynga shares, they're actually down, I believe, 40% in the pre-market?
Yeah, down to close to $3.
Zynga stock closed today near its lowest level ever. The San Francisco-based social gaming company finished the day at $2.48 a share.
And from this point onward, things just got messier. Mark stepped down as CEO twice, and executives too left the company alongside employees with layoff after layoff. By 2016, Zynga was worth less than its own office building. And then in 2020, after having left Zynga's leadership, Mark announced a bittersweet farewell. In his thread, Mark reflected on how Farmville didn't just define a generation. It reshaped gaming itself. It turned data into power, inspired entrepreneurs, and showed the world what games could do. But Facebook was no longer Zynga's home. The game that built an empire was gone, and so was Mark. But just when everyone thought Zynga's story was over, things started to shake up again. Under new leadership, Zynga eventually turned its focus to mobile games, with hits that, to this day, still rake in millions every month. It was a long-needed pivot, but surely not their last, because Zynga's biggest move was yet to come in 2021. A $250 million acquisition of Chartboost, one of the top mobile ad networks. But unfortunately, Chartboost had its own problems. It got accused of tracking people, even kids, who had clearly opted out with Ask App Not to Track. But as we now know, in the cutthroat world of business, this barely raised an eyebrow. It was just business as usual. But it worked. In 2022, the business as usual finally paid off. Big time.
Coming up, Red Dead meet Farmville. Take-Two Interactive buying mobile game developer Zynga.
Which is Take-Two Interactive buying Zynga for $12.7 billion, depending on how you look at it.
This will position Take-Two as one of the largest publicly traded interactive entertainment companies in the world.
Yes, Zynga, a gaming company that bought an ad company, was now bought by one of the biggest gaming companies ever to create, of course, the next mobile gaming empire. And Mark, who was still owning millions of shares, eventually walked away as the ultimate winner. It's just funny how the world works. This man who built Zynga by taking control of his own destiny had to eventually give it up to save Zynga. It's a crazy story, but one we can all learn from, especially from a man who did every horrible thing in the book. While he was very open about his moves, his story goes beyond all that. It's about understanding that in the world of business, everybody plays by their own rules. And if you don't, someone else will create the rules for you. But the real takeaway? Well, let's hear it from the man himself.
You live and grow by the sword, and then you die on that same sword. Zynga was a victim of that. We were a victim of our own data and analytics. And the one muscle that I wasn't able to really replicate and teach across the company was intuition. Intuition.
I guess it was the only thing missing from his book. But while Mark admits he didn't always have it, there's one instinct he clearly mastered. And that's the drive to take control of his very own destiny. Happy farming.
Yeah, that's crazy how that these companies just take your data and use it against you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, man, you know, you might can build this business, you might can find it, but it may be best one day that you sell it. You know, that's business, man. Hey, y'all let me know what y'all think about that though, man. Did anybody play any of these games, man? Fall victim to any of these scams or whatever? Let me know down below, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. We on the road to 100K, okay? If you ain't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turned on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. I'll get at you on the next one, and I'm gone. See why I put a name.